welcome. Thank you both for being here today. And I truly mean it when I say we have legends amongst us. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here.
Big up Nessa in the house. Turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up.
This is crazy. You guys don't have to be here. You guys don't have to do music and work this hard. You guys are so already established and have achieved such great heights.
Wait a minute. What's the alternative to work?
Sting, you were just on vacation with your wife. You could be on vacation right now.
No, I was not on vacation with my wife.
No, he was.
That concept is
touring.
completely escapes me.
I was
vacation.
touring.
She was just on tour with him. It looks like vacation.
So you're always working.
Yeah,
Okay.
Always.
What,
what am I going to do? Plant flowers?
You
Like,
maybe.
seriously.
You'd be good at it, but
What would you be like? Do you guys ever think about, hey, I'm done with this game? You know, it's been a lot.
Not as long as there's curiosity, not as long as there's an element of surprise, and not as long as I'm inspired. And everything you do, you look for inspiration.
What inspires you right now, Shaggy?
Different things on different days, you know what I mean? And right now, a lot of what has inspired me over the time is linking up with this one right here.
That's right.
Who has given me a different look, a different outlook on music in so many ways. Look at
How? Explain us like what this is.
Well, you know, there's a lot of uncomfortable spaces he's put me in as far as music is concerned.
Okay.
Where, on a general view of things, I probably wouldn't try. And he's given me that confidence that, no, you could do this. Because then you might be around people who might not be like, what the hell he do? You think he's, you think you're Luther Vandross now? People, because, and I remember Jay saying something where he said, oh, you can't do it. It's like, why? Because you can't do it? Do you remember what I mean? So in that sense, I get it in a way like that where there are people who might not be able to dream as big as you and they're around you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so you'll tend not to go there because they're people you respect and love. But their fears become your fears.
That's right.
You know, and their fears will stifle your dream because of the fear. And then you meet somebody like Sting who is in so many ways fearless, but has accomplished so much, and he's giving you validation that, look, you could do this. And he's not just saying it, he's really meaning it, and he's sitting there helping you go through it, and you're like, okay, wow, that is. And then after you do it, you're like, man, that really worked.
Give me an example.
I hear the tonality in his voice. I hear the character in his voice. And I wanted to hear him singing real melody. Last week he sang with the Philadelphia Philharmonic Orchestra.
Whoa.
That takes a singer. He did it. And so successfully they want him back. I mean, I'm so proud of him.
Yeah, and we had great reviews, and now it's a whole tour being booked with that. So but it's going through it was leading up to it was agonizing in so many ways. And he called me like 3 times during the day of the premiere and say, hey, make sure you're this, make sure you're that, make sure you're this. And then I went on there and it was.
What was the advice?
I had fun.
I want to know some of the advice that Sting gave you to be prepared.
He thinks I have a story. That's one of the things you were saying.
Of course, right.
Yeah, people want to know your story. Your life story is very interesting. And it's part of the songs. Giving the songs context is something that I know works. The audience are suddenly involved. They're curious about where it comes from. It's not just songs. That's your life you're singing.
Yeah. And in telling the story, how these songs come about and why they were written and how they were written and it put it in context for a lot of these people. It's like, oh, wow, I never thought of that. You know what I mean?
Initially when this magical,
Union
happened, I was like,
for the lack of a better word.
Yeah, how did this happen? How?
Sometimes you meet people. I think the first time when we met each other from before, in passing and stuff like that. And the first time I met him in Antwerp, I went on stage with him and we did.
Was this where you crashed the show? His show?
Yeah, in Antwerp. Right?
I thought it was Sean
crashed
Paul.
his show.
I
thought it was Sean Paul.
Where's Sean Paul? Bring him over here. You think all the light skinned guys look alike. Anyway, but anyway, we. When we actually went in to do a record, which was "Don't Make Me Wait," there was a song that I had given my manager, who passed it on to him, who also manages him at the time, and still does actually. But he walked in singing the song. We ended up during that session having more fun than even work, just getting to know each other because there was a level of uncomfortableness. and curiosity and excitement and everything, and then banter and jokes. You know? And from that point, it was just something that just clicked, and we just kind of ran with it.
Sting, what did you think initially when you were just like, okay, let's have this studio session? What were you expecting with Shaggy?
I had no preconceptions at all.
It wasn't really a studio session. You just kind of showed up.
I was intrigued.
Yeah.
And you know, I always, when I collaborate with another artist, I always look for things that I can learn from them. And with this one, he's so spontaneous. He can create songs on the spot in public. I'm much more careful than that. So I thought there's something to learn from this man. And I can also teach him something. And so there's a nice transfer of skill sets, of experiences that, you know, we're very different. We come from very different backgrounds, different islands, whatever. But there's the core of us, we're both curious about where we're going next.
Yeah.
I think that curiosity is what we have in common.
Clearly, you both like working with each other because you guys haven't stopped, right? So
Well, first of all, we're friends first. The music part is like, what do you say, like a bonus? You know?
Yeah, I mean, our wives are slightly suspect about the whole relationship, but it's okay.
It's chemistry. It's chemistry.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you guys have already won a Grammy together. And you guys aren't sick of each other at this point. You guys still continue to work with each other.
Not at all, man.
Why? Like,
He's funny.
Okay. Because he's funny. Because Sting's funny. We're going to continue.
He's funny.
I just tell the truth and people laugh.
Yeah.
He's funny, man.
That's funny.
And and we like the same thing. You know, it's funny enough. We had going somewhere one night. We're going to have drinks, and we ended up having, I think it was gin.
Uh-oh.
And then we had gin. I was like, oh, dude, I like from Monkey 40. He said he likes Monkey 40, and we just end up liking the same gym.
Right.
So there's so many things we have in common. We're like, oh,
You know
dude.
what we have in common in music? We both love Bill Withers.
Yes, that was another thing.
So how did this
Bill
come
was
up
one
in
of
a
my favorite
conversation? Like, who said it first and the other person's like, me too?
I can't remember who.
Can't remember who first.
No, but it was
yeah.
like, oh yeah, that's
right
it's
away.
one of the formative influences.
So there's a
of my
lot of things we end up finding out that we have in common and like.
How, when it comes to friendships in this industry, and you both, again, legends, it has to be hard to find genuine friendship within this industry,
That's
right?
hard. That's true for anybody.
Yeah. Oh, well,
Maybe
for
harder
sure.
in our industry because, you know, we live in little pods and we go around the world with our band and our manager and our accountant and that's it.
Yeah.
So when you meet somebody of a kindred spirit and you recognize that kindred spirit, you want to hold on to them.
Yeah, it's special. For
Well,
sure.
not entirely hold on to them, but, you know, you know what I mean?
Hold on enough. Just enough.
Yeah, just enough.
Okay, tell me about the new song. Tell us the name, the inspiration behind it, and the importance behind it.
Well, this song is a song. It's called "Till the Morning," and it has a deeper meaning. It's really about sound system culture. You know what I'm saying? If you're Jamaican, you know about the sound system culture. If you're Caribbean, you know about the sound system culture. And it's arguably where...
Can you tell us more about that just for people who are
well,
just
sound
tapping
system
in?
culture is like when you see these... almost every Jamaican party, you see the big speaker boxes blocking the streets. You know, that's where sound system come from. It's kind of where dancehall started. Dancehall started on sound system, where there will be dancehall artists toasting on reggae beats. Now, one of the biggest producers at that time, the most influential, was a guy called Henry John Laws. Not a lot of people hear about him as a producer. You might hear about Sly and Robbie. You might hear about Cox and Dad. You might hear Lee Scratch Perry. You know, I mean, big reggae producers. But this guy was a genius. He had a band called the Roots Radix Band with Dean Fraser and Flabber Holt and them, and they created some incredible music that was really music from the street, and it embodies the sentiments in the street, and it was played mainly by selectors, or as you call them, DJs, but we call them selectors, on sound systems, and they were toasted over by artists toasting on them. That's the early formation of what we now know as dancehall. And out of that was born a global superstar, which is the first dancehall superstar, really, of a global stature, which is King Yellow Man. And this track, the rhythm track, is taken from I'm Getting Married by Yellow Man, which was produced by John Laws. So I explained the whole culture to Sting, and I wrote this, this chorus, and I brought it to him. He loved the melody right off the bat. And once I told him about how the concept of it and how it really impacted, because it's a dying sound system is a dying culture also for Jamaicans right now, for the culture, for the reggae culture. You know, you for instance, you guys know Versus, which
Yes.
is really a spin-off of what Clash System from Sound System clashes. You know what I mean? I just went to the Red Bull Clash in London with me and Spice, which was massive.
Right,
And Red
right.
Bull do these Red Bull culture
Yes.
clashes. That's also a spin-off from Sound System culture. Hip hop came from Sound System culture. When Cool Herc went over and did those toasting, that was from Sound System culture, right? And people like John Jalaz was some of the pioneers that do it. So for what we're doing with this track is actually one of those tracks. And I wanted to actually shed light on what is known as kind of a dying art form, but yet still it's being spun off into different things. And I want also the Jamaican government to really know that this cultural phenom that started with us is being monetized by everybody else except us. You know what I'm saying? And I want this to be something that the culture, you know, they should accept. And so it's a deeper meaning. And so when Sting came in and understood that and came in and just gave it the love solidly and just, you know, connected, it was just right. It felt great.
How did that feel for you, Sting? You know, for Shaggy to call on you and to trust you to be a part of the song and want you to be a part of it.
You know, as soon as I heard the song, I started to smile. There's a joy in this melody, in this track, that I actually feel we need right now in the world. There's so much unhappiness.
Yeah.
Music for me is medicine, and as soon as I heard it, I said, "This is good medicine. I would love to sing on this." And he gave me a few little, you know, pointers. Said, "Do it this way." Said, okay, I said through my teeth. If that's what, but he's right.
Yeah.
He's right. You know, in this field, I listen at the feet of Professor Burrell here. He was a great historian of Jamaican music. So it's wonderful to hear that story.
Yeah.
Do you take feedback from people in general, Sting? Just, I'm curious. And
I think I'm a pretty good listener. You know, I mean, I was a school teacher before I was a singer. So I understand, you know, the process. Learning and teaching are sometimes the same thing.
what was the subject?
I taught English.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. I feel like, Katrina, we need to make sure our grammar
Sorry,
game is on point.
Trust me,
I won't correct
I've
your
been
grammar.
corrected on grammar every time. Trust me.
We have to be extra mindful right now. That is so interesting to me. I love hearing the backstory of just, you know, when I see people work together, but then hearing the importance behind a song and how that comes together. Wow.
But what's also great is that you know, Sting is not new to the culture of it because he was where he lives in England is, you know, was a heavy West Indian community at that point, you know, and he was open to, like, we say calypso and
Calypso, ska, blue
Ska, I
beat,
was gonna say ska,
rocksteady, and, you know, reggae. It was just around the whole time. So it was never kind of an alien culture to me.
Yeah.
I mean, the West Indian community in Britain is very influential, not just in music and arts, but in every aspect of British life. So it's part of the culture.
I was going to ask, how has that influenced you?
Hugely.
Yeah.
Hugely. I mean, I was very influenced by black music and from America, you know, hip hop, Samtam, the Motown, soul music, Stax, those labels. But reggae really spoke to me as a bass player and a singer. That's the art form for me.
he also wrote some of his biggest hits in Jamaica.
Oh, that's right.
Songs like Every Breath You Take
That's
and
right.
Peter Pan, those records, yeah.
How did you feel when it eventually got sampled, right? You're hearing your massive song, Every Breath You Take. It gets sampled on I'll Be Missing You, tribute to Biggie.
Yeah.
And then it just takes on, you know, it takes on a life of its own, right?
I never get in the way of that. I'm always honored when people do take the song and take it somewhere else. I'm curious about where that goes.
Yeah.
And I think one of the most sampled songs ever that I've written is Shape of My Heart.
Shape of My Heart.
Juice WRLD.
Juice WRLD.
Juice WRLD.
Fantastic version. Yeah. God bless him. But no, I have something to learn from when people sample where they take it.
So how does someone get it cleared, right? And I ask this because it's like, do you actually like listen to the new song, how it's going to be sampled? What is that process like?
I only would object if I would find the lyrics not wholesome.
Right.
So I can say no, but generally that's an open door. You can, and I get paid automatically. It's not like
the residuals continue forever. Is that how that works?
Of course they do.
Okay.
Yeah.
But when you look at this just as a visionary, as an artist, why is that important for you? You don't have to give the clearance. You could just control everything, right? And be like, no, this is my song and I want it to always be preserved in this way.
Then I'm missing out on the thing growing. These songs are my kids. I want to see how they develop. And I only have a certain amount of control over them. And also music comes from somewhere else, I was influenced by people before me. I stood on the shoulders of giants to get where I am.
Yeah.
So why would I get in the way of that process? No, it's a wonderful thing.
Who are some of those giants for you?
Well, Bob Marley, absolutely Bob Marley. The Beatles for me, because they were from a working class town in the north of England, and they took over the world with their own songs. So a whole generation of English kids thought, "Oh, I'll try that."
Yeah.
So they gave permission to make an attempt. So definitely the Beatles.
How about for you, Shaggy?
Oh, I have a lot of influences. Like he says, Bill Withers is one of them. Sammy Davis Jr. was a big one for me. Of course, the great Bob Marley. But I'm also going into dancehall DJs like Supercat, big time. Josie Wells, earlier DJs. Yellow Man. I got into music because of Yellow Man. I seen him one night and I was like, that's what I want to do. This guy was phenomenal. He walked into a dance hall and spit like 3 lyrics and walked out, and the whole place walked out with him. That's power. That's incredible.
When you both go into the studio, I'm just wondering, is it just like another day? Like what, it's like, when you hear people clocking in and out of work, or are you inspired when you step in? At this point in both of your careers, are you only stepping in when you are feeling that drive to record something new?
I do it every day, but
every day?
Every chance I get, I'm in the studio making music. However,
interesting.
It's not everything that I do. Like some people have writer's block and say they don't come up with things. I come up with things. I just don't like everything I come up with. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and then so if I make 10 songs, there might be 3 or 4 out of it that I really, really like. You know what I mean? But I keep my pen busy. I keep, it's a skill that you keep it sharp. I listen to everything that's out there. I'm a fan of everything that's out there, and I compete with everything that's out there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I create hybrids of everything. I'm a hybrid artist. Everything that people criticize me over the years and say, well, Shaggy doesn't do real reggae or real this or real, there's no way that I can do what Dennis Brown or Bob Marley or Supercat has done and do it better than this. These guys are masters of their craft.
Right.
So I have to create my own lane, my own because they're my heroes.
That's right.
And they're great at what they've done.
That's
know what
right.
I mean? But I could create a hybrid and create my own greatness with that hybrid. And a lot, we might sit there and say, okay, you wrote It Wasn't Me and you wrote Bombastic. Oh my God, it's genius. That's a gift. That was given to, if I wrote Angel It Wasn't Me, I'd be writing one every week.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That is gifted through a higher power.
Sure,
And I look at myself, we're servants. We're servants, and these songs are a tool to do service. Yeah. Because we change people's lives.
My analogy is creativity is like fishing.
Okay.
Some days you catch a fish, some days you don't. Maybe most days you don't.
Some days you catch a little fish.
A little fish or a big fish, doesn't matter. But if you don't go to the river every day, you don't catch anything.
You don't catch anything.
That's right. You got to shoot your shot. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, don't worry. That was a well point.
On and on.
Perfect. You brought up Bombastic, dropped 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And it went viral again on TikTok recently, right? Yeah. And it was used in the Fiat commercial. Yeah. What? Like, how do you know when things are going viral like that? Like,
I see it pop up on my feed or I'm tagged into it or something like that, yeah. But that's the only time. And I'm not from a really heavy TikTok era, obviously, But,
yeah, sure.
But for some reason, the songs that I've written over the years, they keep coming back up. Like It Wasn't Me just doesn't stop, especially in the political turmoil we're in.
It wasn't me.
It pops up every minute.
And that came out 25 years ago, right? It wasn't me. Okay, wait. So do you still stand by the message that if you get caught cheating, you should deny it?
No, you're getting this wrong. This is a morality tale.
Thank you.
Tell us.
It's a total morality tale.
Thank you.
Listen to the song carefully. He doesn't get away with it.
Yeah, at the end of the song, it's it's
especially in the video. Yeah,
well,
yeah,
it's a conversation with two people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the guy actually didn't follow the advice of the bad guy.
Right.
He went down and says, "You're an idiot. I'm gonna apologize."
Right.
You know, it's what you call it, a moral tale.
It's a morality play.
Morality play. There you go.
Yeah. I like how that's positioned for sure.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
but so if someone does get caught cheating, own up to it or no?
If
Give
you
us
get-
your wisdom now.
I would say that, yes.
You would admit it. So you'd say, yes, it was me at that point.
Yeah, but in this case, it wasn't me because that's just my story and I'm sticking to it.
Do it.
You know, smart men know that women are smarter than they are.
100%.
Incredibly. Yes.
At what point did you realize this thing? Give us the game.
My whole
His
life.
whole life.
My whole life. I'm
I
also
agree.
married to a good witch. She knows.
Give us some advice when it comes to a newly married couple. What's the best piece of advice you could give them so that their marriage can last a lifetime?
Don't take tomorrow for granted. It's a constant navigation. It's a constant negotiation, a constant listening to your partner every day. Because you change. She'll change. So you have to navigate this path
Exactly.
together.
Yeah, how do you grow together, not grow apart?
Exactly.
But like,
But it's not, it's you have to work.
yeah,
But listening
Conversation.
is the greatest skill.
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, this is.
And be friends.
Are you hearing this, baby?
Yeah. Be friends.
Be
my
friends.
wife right here.
Yeah, be friends.
Be friends. You have to have a friendship first.
Yeah.
You must get up every morning and that's the person you want to talk to.
That's true.
Do you both go on double dates together? Like,
I mean,
wives?
we've gone to functions together with his wife and my wife. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Do
know,
they
I don't think we say, well, let's go double date. You know?
Yeah, yeah,
But,
yeah.
You know, there might be functions that we are at that, you know, they're together.
Yeah. What would you say has been, I guess, for being in long relationships, the hardest part that a newly married couple should be aware of? Like, this is definitely, you're going to cross this, you know, I guess, crossroad at some point and be prepared. I heard communication, but, you know, I just feel like you guys have more game and wisdom for us.
The person you are now is not the person you were 5 years ago, and you will not be the person you're going to be in the next 5 years. You know what I'm saying? So what are the odds that you're going to, like you say, grow in the same direction?
Yes.
You know what I mean? So this is going to take you being conscious of the person's feelings and recognizing that person's change. And change.
Yeah.
Now, I think the biggest mistake we do is we all look for 100%. 100% of anything does not exist.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? But the last time you have a pie and you get 75%, you're still winning. You get what I'm saying? Now, I do understand that your cup needs to be at 100%, you know, for you to operate at your full potential. You know what I'm saying? So this is where you offset things and figure things out
Yeah.
within your partner, you know what I mean, to reach that.
Yeah.
That place where you are at your best.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sting, what would you say has been your secret sauce to making your marriage last this long?
People say, you know, is it love? I say, no, we love each other, but the most important thing is we like each other. When she walks into a room, my life is raised up. And I hope it's the same for her. You'd have to ask her.
What would you say if I talked to your wife and I was like, "What's your pet peeve about your husband?" What would she say? What do you do that annoys
How
her?
vain I am. I'm so vain.
Are you really?
Really vain.
How about for you, Shaggy? Well, if I asked,
What's so funny is this is where we had a joke going this morning where somebody asked him, how do you feel about, wouldn't it be crazy if, you know, wouldn't you like to be in the audience of your own show? He says, no, I like exactly where I'm at.
I like being the center of attention.
oh, that's so great.
I just start laughing.
That is funny.
You know, it says I've been neglected. I was neglected as a child.
Yeah, so
Leave-
now I
leave
want
me
to be
alone.
the center of attention.
Leave me
That
alone.
wasn't true, by the way. That was a lie.
No, but you always say, well, never let the truth get in the way of a good story.
That's true.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a great saying. I like that. Okay, so Shaggy, what would you say is your favorite song by Sting?
My favorite song, Fields of Gold.
Okay, so that was easy for you. Now,
Well, we speak about it. I analyze a lot of his song and his songwriting. Because I toured with him and we sing these songs every night, and a lot of them are just beautiful compositions.
Yeah.
I mean, just sometimes I'm sitting down, I was like, "Are you ever figure out what you were eating that day when you wrote that?"
and let's
like,
recreate that.
Like what was it? Was it chai tea? Was it English breakfast? What was happening? Why that comes out? I think the same thing as it was to me. I'm like,
I was sitting at the river waiting for a fish.
Yeah, that's
Waiting for
exactly it. Yeah,
And
see
it was
what
a
one
big
caught,
fish.
and he caught one. Yeah,
Yeah,
he caught one.
How about for you, Sting? Favorite song
this
from
one?
Shaggy? Yeah.
Well, I love It Wasn't Me.
Of course.
Say it's a morality play. And the first time I heard Boombastic, I think it must have been a commercial for something.
Yeah, for Levi's. I think it was a Levi's commercial.
This voice coming through the radio wave.
Oh, lower, one time. Yeah.
I wish I had that voice. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I must say, he's always saying that. It's like, how do you? He looks at me and says, for like the first time, he was like, how do you do that?
How did you discover that?
I was in the military, and I was in the Marines, and I was in basic training, and they had these drill instructors. Have you ever seen that? Obviously, a gentleman, you know. And so Louis Goppett Jr. Is that. So you had these drill instructors, and when they talk to you, they would change up their voice. So they'd talk to you like, yeah, you're in your boy. Say, hey, boy,
And that's
you better drop, give me 20, boy.
you know what I mean? And so I just started mocking them as fun. Yeah, I just started mocking them as fun. And then they would call me out to sing cadence when we were running. So we're running 3 miles. So I'd be like,
I don't know, but I've been told my CEO wears pantyhose.
and it'd be funny cadences, and they would just like laugh. So it would be very motivating on the run. So they'd call me out to run all the time and sing, which sucked because we're running like 4 miles, and I'm actually singing from my gut. Everybody else is dying, and I'm actually singing plus doing
right.
With a rifle in your
with a rifle in my hand. And at that point, you don't even realize that that's vocal training.
Absolutely.
Because you're singing from your gut.
For sure.
And so, you know, I did songs. You might know songs like Big Up. Y'all, if you fat time, you're both expensive and rub it. Big up, big up. That's in a total different tone of voice than I did Oh Carolina,
For
which is
sure.
total or bombastic. So the minute I did Oh Carolina in that tone of voice, that record became massive, #1 in around the world. And I was like, well, I guess that's the sound. So I did bombastic in that sound also. And I just kept doing that. And
That's crazy.
And they just kept paying me. So
So you kept going with it.
I just kept going. It was like, oh, here's $1 million. Here's another. Okay.
We'll keep going. You're just going. Sting, what would you say has been the highlight of your career so far?
I haven't had it yet. I'm still waiting for it. It's on the horizon.
Yeah.
I live in the moment. I don't look back very much.
The rearview mirror is this small. The windshield
And
is
this
this
is
big.
so interesting. How about for you, Shaggy, in general? Have you had moments?
I also don't dwell on the past. I don't. You know, it's when it comes, this guy's this. You know, yes, you did some wonderful things, and you touch and you change people's lives, and I really look at it as that we've changed people's life. It's not the accolades or, any of that. It's really how many people's lives you've touched. You know, I remember when I wrote Hot Shot, it was 11 people that bought homes and started their lives. You know, recently.
Wow.
With even the other day when we did Conqueror, and he got a deal and bought his home and sent me a whole video with his new home that he bought. You know, those are things to me. Like when we go on tour, and there might be 200, 300 people on the tour that are riggers, truck drivers, stage handlers, lighting technicians. You know, that's 300 electric bills, school fees,
Right.
Mortgages.
Yeah.
All because we sing these songs. So that's why I said we're servants. And these songs are just our tools to change people's lives. That is your value. And the minute you find out about purpose comes into play, and
That's
then
right.
everything changes at that point. So you might say to this, you guys don't have to do it. And we're not. This is a privilege. It is an absolute privilege to do
right.
this.
That's right.
And I'm saying, and that is why we're out here doing it. It's not for the money or it's not for the accolades. It's really because this is what we're brought here to do, and we're in service.
Oh, I love
We
that.
get up every morning and we're in service of it, and we do it to our fullest, and because we know it changes people's lives.
And you both are constantly giving back. And when it comes to that, I think that's really important in so many ways. Do you feel like, I don't know, I don't want to like hate on the new artists, of course, but I don't know if it's valued as much as I see the work being done from legends, for example, right?
So it's valid in a different way.
Has that always just been a part of both of your lives to give back to community and making sure that you are a servant, like you said, to the people?
I give back because I came from nothing. Like I'm really like he said something to me the other day. He says, Shaggy, you're really passionate about your country. Remember when he said that to me? You know, and he recognized it, and he said, you are really passionate about it. And I said to him, I said, because it has given me so much. I came from a ghetto in Raytown with nothing. It was an outdoor pit toilet. Oof. You know what I mean? I've actually changed my family's trajectory, you know, and their journey based on these little songs that, you know, I came up with, you know.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's a lot that this country has given me and this culture has given to me. And I cannot turn my back on that because it has changed my life and changed my family's life.
You know, when I walk through Kingston with this one, it's like I'm with the Pope.
Damn. Describe that for us.
It's like nobody knows who I am, but they all know who the Pope is. Which is actually very good for me.
Yeah.
It's very good for me.
We have a lot of fun when we're down there, and it's great, you know, to go through some of the old neighborhoods, and you know, people come up and really show their appreciation, and
They do.
And whatever opportunity that I find myself in, that I could, you know, use to the benefit of my country, I will. You know, I mean, when you come from nothing, from zero, and then all of a sudden, you know, the Queen knows your name. Nelson Mandela knew, you know, sat right in front of him. He knows your name. Michael Jackson knew your name. You know, the Pope recently. You know,
that's incredible,
Pope, right?
That's
The
incredible.
Pope, you know what I mean? And he knew who I was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's good to be in these situations when you come from nothing and you see these people who were your heroes. You know, Stevie Wonder knew who I was. Such and such knew who. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember having my conversations with these, and then you know, my best friend is Sting.
That's right.
Think of that journey.
That's crazy.
From nothing. Yeah.
It's
you know what I'm
crazy.
saying? So for me, what is there not to give back? And I have to give back to this culture that has given me so much. You know what I mean?
Do you remember at what point in your career that you realized, oh, not only is my life changing, I'm changing lives around me? Do you remember that? Like when you realize I can do this, and not only am I winning, everyone around me, and it's a ripple effect. Others are also.
I mean, I think that took a while because there was learning curves for me. You know, there were times in my journey that I didn't know, I didn't understand. So I think later on is when I really got to that point where it dawned on me as an aha moment. It's like, okay, I'm a servant. You know, that's when the ego got down, when you just like start realizing what a gift you have.
Yeah.
And how much that is, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Before I'm just this young guy who's, you know, you're getting girls and you're traveling the world and people know your name and you get money and you just, you know, what do you know? You just, you know, now it's different because, you know, you have the internet. You could pick up your device and fact check everything and see what it is, you know, even though some of them are living, you know, lies these days, so you can't follow that. But you know, it was a different time where I learned a lot of things late. Now we do a thing called Island Music Conference, which we just did in Jamaica, and we invite a lot of people down to teach people firsthand, because there's no textbook
Right.
on how to act
Yeah,
when this
man.
thing happens to you. It happens and it hits you with a whirlwind, and you might be insecure, and all of a sudden, you know, you the guy that used to send to the shop. Now you got 5 guys going to the shop for you.
Ooh.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't know how to act. You know, you could barely talk to a girl. Now you got tons of them just, you know, hollering at you.
Yeah.
You know, and the top shelf of everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do you handle that?
Yeah.
What teachings is there? What manual book is there
Yeah.
for you to do that?
Yeah.
We were lucky because success happened relatively slowly.
Yeah.
I think
And
now
the slower the burn, the better.
A young artist can have one TikTok hit and they're suddenly filling stadiums, but you don't have the resilience or the backbone form to tolerate the downtime. And every career has a down. You need strength to go through that.
Ooh,
and
I
keep
love that.
moving. And that takes time. Young artists aren't given that anymore.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you'll never hear a lot of people say that, but you need the down.
You need.
You need the down. The down helps you to reset, helps you to refocus, help you to reanalyze.
Yeah.
And it's a journey.
Yeah.
It's a journey that and when I'm at my lowest or I'm at my down, that's when I'm more motivated.
When was the last time you were at that point?
I was at that many times.
Many times.
Yeah, many times.
You know what?
But I always because I never stopped fishing, I always end
right.
up catching a fish.
You know what? I think for so many people, they see you both so successful and you make it look effortless, right? And so they see the
big
success.
thing. That's the big thing.
So they're like, they never have downs. They're never going through the painful times.
That is the biggest problem, I think, in crews is that when you are a person that's a master of your craft, you make it look easy. And it isn't really easy.
Sure.
You just make it look that. And
That's
so
it.
people around you
Yes.
think that, well, I could just do that.
Yes.
And then they'll get to a place where they start to devalue you
Ooh,
based on
that's right.
what they think is easy and they could do until you leave, and then they realize how hard it is.
Yeah.
And then they start to realize your value when it's too late.
Yes.
And I've gone through that also.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm hearing you both speak, and I'm thinking of like Sting, your career, your success. I just don't think people realize, doors have been closed on you. You have been rejected as far as your career and all these things. Like,
There was a girl in 1972.
Damn, you remember her that much?
Yeah.
But
hurt, man.
it feels like you're like so far away from any kind of pain or doors being closed on you. But the reality is, I'm sure it happened plenty of times in your career.
I'm very sensitive to what's going on in the world, in politics, in social conditions, everyone. I can't be entirely happy while there are so many people who aren't, or people who are struggling to pay the rent, struggling to buy their groceries.
Yeah.
That hurts me. As wealthy as I am, I can't forget that, and I don't want to forget it because you just can't be above that at all. It's part of, we're all together in this.
And you can look the other way, but over the years, you have cared about different causes, be it children's health, bringing awareness to breast cancer, and you've done so much throughout your life. Why?
It's easy. It's easy to if you're just singing, but adding your name to something that you believe in, social justice, or
right.
human rights, that kind of thing, which I've been associated with, or protecting the environment, it just seems so obvious to me that you have to do that.
Right.
But it's also easy. I'm just singing my songs. So it's a privilege to do it. I'm curious, like Shaggy is, about where we're going, where the world is going.
Oh, for sure.
And so we need to have a place at the table and say, actually, we want the world to go in this direction.
Yeah.
I'm a little different on it. Where he says it's easy. I understand what he says where it's easy because they've already built a brand and that brand is there and it's easy to lend a name to the brand. But to build that brand was not easy.
Of
that
course.
was hard. And first of all, I'm going to tell you this 100%. I've been in this business for 30 years. I've never met anybody who's worked as hard as this guy. This is the hardest working person I've ran across.
Ever.
Well, you're a
I mean,
close
Wait,
second,
why?
bro.
Tell us.
I don't know if it's a school teacher thing or what it is. And I'm a military person from background, so I'm always,
Sure.
I'm on it. I never met somebody else who would top me. I cannot beat him first in the lobby. Like if we're
Really?
going to get down there, it's like 10 o'clock. He's there from 9:30, sometimes 9.
I like it.
I mean, and
I
it's
love
it's
it.
just, and it's one of the most disciplined people I know. Like
Discipline.
we'll get off stage and it says, okay, we're going to the bar and we're going to have a after show drink. And I'm going there. I'm saying, I'm going to get wasted. He drinks one glass of wine and leaves.
Discipline.
And just boom. And he doesn't tell you. I'm just sitting there. I'm ordering like bunch. Everybody, yes, we're ready. And he just sits there and he drinks the one glass and just gets, okay, I'm going to bed. Give me a hug and blef. I'm like, dude, you just left me with the bill.
This method in my
Now
madness.
let me find out Sting is leaving you with the bill.
No, but it's just how disciplined.
Oh, yeah,
it
that's
is. He's
clockwork.
and so that rubs off on me a lot. Like I'm even as I get more and more into this, and I get older, and as I go, I am that on it because he did, just like you say, he doesn't have to. You know, we're not talking a guy that's doing it because he has. It's just how his makeup is.
That's it.
And then another thing I admire is that he treats everybody nice.
Yeah.
I've seen people
Yes.
who don't have even a fraction of the career. He treats everybody nice. Everybody. I mean, he's approachable to everyone. Some people sometimes are standing because he's such an iconic figure.
Yes.
They might be scared to just approach him. But he's so human. And you go up to him, it's like, hey.
Yeah.
But people, you know, because I call him he's got that professor thing.
Yeah.
That school teacher thing.
Yeah.
It's like, he
His
looks like he's going to
presence.
discipline me.
It's the presence of yes.
Yeah, it's a presence. You know,
It's a presence,
he doesn't
for
think he has
sure.
it though. I'm telling you that he doesn't think that he has it. He'll just, you know.
It's
the other
effortless.
day, the other day I got a call, and a friend of mine said, "Hey, guy that owns a restaurant in Miami, he says, is your bud Sting in town?" I said, "Yeah, he's in." Somebody just told me he came in my restaurant, but I didn't think it was him because he was riding a city bike. I was like, "Yeah, that's him."
That's it. That's actually
he's riding one of the city bikes and go, that is this guy, 100%. You know, I say, yeah, that's
beautiful.
him. Trust me. You know, he
That's
came in there. I think you ordered like a drink or something like that. And then
It's
you
nice
turned
to be
around.
invisible sometimes.
Yeah, but that is him, 100%.
I think that's so special.
Yeah.
You know, just
Yeah.
to be able to, hey, I'm going to get on a city bike and I'm just going to do my thing. And I think that's important. I think it speaks to your character, Sting. I mean, you walked in here, you were so kind. You shook our hands, like you acknowledged us. And
He'll make everybody they speak to feel like they're the only person.
yes, in the room for
does that.
sure. And I
100%.
I think it just goes to not just your legacy, but who you are as a person. Like you never know when you come across the greats what you're going to get.
Oh,
right?
I've had some of those.
I'm sure.
I've been let down by a lot of my heroes.
and it hurts and it breaks your heart.
Yeah, it made me
So-
sometimes wish I should have just let me live with that.
I
Yeah.
should have just avoided
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And so to be,
and younger. I've had people that are just brand new, and I was like, whoa, okay.
okay,
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's tough, but it's
See you on the way down.
but I think but that's life. There's
Shade.
downs. Throw the shade.
But he's right because most of the time,
Yeah.
when you see that situation happen, you might be, because we were here for 3 decades, he's even more. You do see them.
Oh yeah.
It changes that quickly, like that
This.
quickly, and you see them go all the way down, and they can't figure their way back up because they burned their bridges. So coming back up is harder,
Yeah.
because people don't forget.
Oh, never. That's
They don't
right.
forget. You know what I mean? So
100%.
relationships to me in this game is the most valuable thing.
Yeah.
And it's not talking about relationship at the top, just in general for everybody.
Oh, for sure.
Because I still believe that if the streets love you, no one could touch you. You know what I mean? It's you finding the common guy that really can connect with you. That's why in the songs that he's written, I see people follow him from show to show, and it's the same people. I'm like, whoa, because those songs meant something to them.
Built a community.
It's relatable. Their lives is wrapped around what he said on that song. That's their truth.
100%.
You know, and so when you make records like that's another thing he taught me. It's actually writing songs that is relatable, to people's truth. It might not be your truth, like it wasn't me. You know, it's either you're banging, somebody banging, you wish you're banging. I'll not be banging, but it's somebody's truth.
Somebody's truth.
You know what I'm saying? And it's relatable.
Yeah.
In that sense, you know, and he's great at that.
Shaggy, what do you want your legacy to be?
That I made a difference. Yeah, change lives. That's it. That is my own. I said to the other day. I said I work towards 2 things: freedom and joy. You know.
Yeah.
And you know, wealth is not having things. Wealth is having the ability to tell people to F off.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
That is wealth. That is true wealth.
Absolutely.
And not doing things that you don't want to. You do it because you want to.
Yeah.
And that is what I want. Just change people's lives.
That's it.
And make people smile. Bring joy.
How about for you, Sting? What do you want your legacy to be?
I think to have attempted to make the place better than it was when I found it.
Oh, that's a good
Go
one.
into a room, it's messy. I'm a tidier up. I like to tidy up. So I like to leave the room looking better.
Yeah.
It's
That's a
not
good one.
anal. It's just that's what I
That's
like.
just what it is.
That's a good
I
one.
want to make things better. I think you both are ready and have been and will continue to do.
Up till now.
Up till now, yeah.
But I know the new song. Are we going to get a new album with the new song?
You know what? I have an album that I've been working on.
Sure.
So
Without me.
without
Can
him.
you believe it? He betrayed you.
And in fairness, the other day we were thinking about doing a record together, and we looked at our schedule and we were just all over the place. And I said to him, I said, well, and he says, Shaggy, it's hard for me to sit down to get in the studio. Why don't you just write a couple of songs and I'll sing them and you just work them after? I said, nah, that's not how we do it. We have to do it together. And he says, but we ended up getting one song, which is this. And I said, well, I had an album I was working on, and he had an album. You've been touring with a 3-piece, the 3.0, and something that we're both excited about. Let's just take that run, and then, so there might be one. Absolutely, there's no doubt that we could do that because we both like the idea of doing it,
right?
And we enjoy doing it.
Yeah,
so it is possible down the line. But
I love that there's no pressure between you both.
Not at all. And even now we make because we still work. It's not like you say, oh, this song, they teamed up again. I'm like, dude, we haven't. You know how many records we've made in between?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because we collaborate a lot. We just don't put them out. It was like, because I keep learning. We did an album of Sinatra records.
Yes.
We did Sinatra songs and reggae, and that's him showing up at my house and saying, oh, let's do this. Because I was on some boat with him singing Sinatra, and he heard me and says, hey, you sound like Sinatra. And we talked. We had some alcohol too.
Yeah.
But
we did.
and then it turned into let's do it in reggae, and then it sat around for about a year before we actually embarked. And then I went to see him.
Pestering you about it.
Yeah, I went to see him in Vegas, and the idea came up again. He was playing some notes. I started singing, and then he showed up at my house and said, "Let's do it." And then the minute we're at my studio and we're flying to Jamaica and getting horns and background and building these things, and then we ended up getting nominated for a Grammy.
That's
crazy. So it doesn't. And then he's telling me that I'm going to sing Sinatra, which I don't sing. So I don't even know I'm going to do it.
But he put that battery in your back.
Not only that, he sat there and he took every single vocal personally. He was in the studio, no, do that again, and have his knee in my back. It was like, do that again. Nope, that was wrong. Do it again. Do it again.
That was only to open your chest out.
Just to get the full.
Get the flow.
I wasn't punishing you. I was just trying to get the full.
But it was like that every day.
But was that humbling for you at a point where
it was exciting because it was exciting in a sense because say we did one song for the day, a song that I didn't know very well, and it's some of the most complex compositions in the world, the Sinatra catalog. And you have to have really keen ear to hear that. And he was on the keyboard playing, no, this is the note. No, this is the note.
Oh, this is
and
beautiful.
he's training my ear as I'm doing it. And then when I've completed the song and they edited it up in the evening and it was done, and I listened back to it, I'm like, wow, I didn't know I could sound like that.
Damn, that's
so
crazy.
now I'm excited. Now I'm intrigued. Now I'm inspired.
Yeah.
And I want to do more.
Yeah.
And then it just took on a life of its own. And we're both like kids in a candy store.
very, very exciting for me too, as the teacher in that situation.
Oh, you're such a teacher. Like
Yeah,
now,
he's such
I
a-
can't get it out of my head now. at
Yeah,
this
he's
point.
a teacher. Yeah, big time.
Wow.
Yeah.
This has been such an incredible conversation.
Oh,
I
thank you.
appreciate you both for being here. Legends, icons, to take the time to still do radio runs, to still be out here, to still be performing, and to treat everybody with so much respect. I think it's something that a lot of people can learn from, be inspired from.
Yeah.
And I am completely humbled and honored to have had this conversation with the both
Thank
of
you,
you.
Nessa. You've been wonderful.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so
Delightful to
much.
be here. Thank you.
Thank you.